Well, I feel somewhat vindicated in my love of the John Cena heel run because last night on SmackDown, I thought he went out there and did a fine job. Fine speech. Because it was the John Cena show, which I was not expecting at all. But this was really cool because now, whether by accident or on purpose, he has beef with everyone. He has beef with Cody Rhodes because he screwed him at WrestleMania. He has beef with Randy Orton because he screwed him at Backlash. He has beef with CM Punk because that's been his forever feud. And he has beef with R-Truth because he screwed him too and now kind of got him fired, kind of didn't, whatever we're doing with that story, which was real life, by the way. I'm pretty sure that's been figured out. But it kind of makes sense to me because when you have someone as big of a star as John Cena is, again, we now know he is the Mount Rushmore. That argument's been put to bed. I think the more people that can be gunning for him and gunning for his WWE title, it just makes it feel more important. And even though I do think it's going to be Cody that defeats him at SummerSlam, probably on night 2 in the main event, it makes King of the Ring more interesting. And we kind of teased that Randy Orton is going to screw Cody Rhodes at some point. I thought that line carried so much weight with it, and it's got me super duper excited, where he said, well, here I am in the same position, and if I do want to get, I always forget, I think it's 15 title reigns. Maybe it's 16, I don't know. But if I want to get to that point, I'm going to have to start acting like everybody else. And he told Cody to his face, I'll drop you if I have to drop you, and that will happen at some point. I'm now starting to think that maybe it happens in the second half of 2025, because Cody's going to have to do something, and I believe John Cena will spin back off to being a babyface, because now I'm starting to think the WrestleMania 42 main event is going to be CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes, because they bumped into each other here and they're always in each other's space a little bit. And ultimately, is there a bigger match than that? Arguably not. And I guess it's CM Punk and John Cena that we need to talk about. So I talked about this over on What Culture Wrestling, and I think I did a better job there. But because we go through the show sort of chronologically, can't say that word, just go check it out. And please do check it out here too and subscribe and like the video, interact. Sign up to the Patreon, patreon.com/Simon316, $5. Come join my watch-alongs and other content. It's fun. I love it. So I'd love to have you there. But I don't want to say struggling. This word has too much emotion attached to it. But the story, as far as I am aware, and please do correct me, right? I think it's so fuzzly-wuzzly that I could get this completely wrong, is that CM Punk doesn't want to go to Saudi Arabia based on comments that he has said in the past. We all know about these. The internet wrestling community has been talking about them. John Cena knows this, so said, CM Punk, you can have your title match in Saudi Arabia at Night of Champions, but it means you have to be a hypocrite and park your morals at the door. And Punk is like, well, you are such a detriment to wrestling, and you're trying to steal that belt for the fans and for the company and for myself, not really the company. He mentioned that on Raw. I will go out there, I'll fight you on hell, I'll fight you on the moon. Ipso facto, that's what he's going to do. Now, I said on one episode of Ups and Downs that I was just happy to focus on the TV portion, because if we started to get into every single wrestler's personal life, one, I don't think you want that from me as a content creator, stupid word, and two, it's just going to get really confusing, right? If all of a sudden, well, he thinks this, but now we're doing this. But WWE has now made it a center point of this story, unless I'm incorrect here, but I don't think I am, because I think I'm a little bit astute when it comes to wrestling. Maybe I'm not. I don't deserve my job. But they're doing it in a way where it is, I've used this phrase everywhere else, I use it here too, the elephant in the room. So we're saying it without saying it, because we can't actually say it, because it's not part of the television story, but it is part of the CM Punk story, and therefore, because some people that are hardcore fans are talking about it, we need to copy and paste it in. However, if you just watch the television show, and you don't care about the behind-the-scenes stuff, and these people do exist, I know about them in my own life, you'll be being like, well, why the flub does Saudi Arabia matter when it comes to CM Punk? And you're going to look down at the floor. I'm not saying that you can't figure it out. Like a genius to work out what's going on. But if you like to park your brain at the door before you sit down with your sports entertainment programming, I think we have made it way too convoluted. I think we have made it just too many cross wires. There is a part of me that thinks it's quite creative and quite ambitious to try and bring these elements in that you know your fan base is going to be talking about. But then the other side of me just likes big dumb fun. Just say, I don't like you, John. I want to win. It all depends on the day. I could wake up tomorrow and feel completely differently about this. But it's CM Punk versus John Cena, right? I don't think you need to overcook the pudding. I don't think we should have done it at Night of Champions. I think we should have saved it for SummerSlam. You can hold the Cody Rhodes win off to any other point. And that's not of detriment to the Night of Champions show, whatever you want to say. I just think that kind of match should be on one of the big four. Therefore, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, even Survivor Series, not really. I'd much rather have it at SummerSlam, because especially this year, WWE has pitched it as Hot WrestleMania. That's why it's 2 nights. So it just feels a bit weird, and I'm going to say this every time I talk about it, so I don't want to get too bogged down with all of that stuff, all the reasons I just said. This is my little speech that I've got, so you have to forgive me, but I mean it. Representation, inclusion, just being nice to people, remembering that we're all part of the human race and mostly just trying to get by. All of that is super cool, and we should respect it, and we should respect each other. And if you're not doing that, or you're saying horrible things, or you're trying to bring a certain person down, you shouldn't be doing that. It's a mistake, and it's what's going to hold us back as a society and as a civilization, whatever words you do want to use, because the way I want to live my life is no better or worse than the way you want to live your life, unless, this is the asterisk, the way you're living your life is actually having a detrimental effect on somebody else. You can see what I'm getting at here, right? Just be nice to people. People are people. We're all on the same level. We all have our thoughts and our feelings, and if anybody is being, I use that word again, discriminated against, or even fearing for their life, maybe that's not a good thing. I'll get rid of the maybe. It is not. So it's difficult and it's interesting because I love the R-Truth inclusion here. I think it's absolutely fantastic. I love the fact he's gone serious. He is now my entrepreneurial hero as well because he went, I'll come back fine, but I want to portray my character in a different way. I'm not saying he can't do comedy stuff again eventually, but I think he'll be able to balance it better. And next week we're getting R-Truth, Ron Killings versus John Cena, and I can only go off my gut feelings. I am so excited. I cannot wait because you can't just job Ron Killings out here. People be like, excuse me, no. So what is John Cena going to do? I have a feeling this will culminate at the Saudi Arabia thing. I think John Cena is going to do something so dastardly that Ron Killings does something out at Night of Champions. I do not know. But the big opening segment with Randy, Cody Rhodes, and LA Knight, who I did enjoy sticking his oar in because it means he's at a certain level, and then John Cena coming back out because he's so mad at R-Truth, and then getting another mega moment with CM Punk. I liked all of it, and it got me really excited about what we can do. And then the other stuff just made me go, I don't know why. It's just so weird. Just don't do it there. Just don't do it. Do it somewhere else. But again, we've talked about it. Hopefully I've done a good job explaining. If not, please let me know in the comments. I'll do a whole video on it. I'm just trying to be as respectful as I can while also getting my own points across. Sometimes we can make mistakes with that, right? But just because we have got back here, love everybody. Not real love, but just show love and respect to everybody for the reasons we've already laid out. But it was good television. This stuff aside, and I don't know how they get out of the match in a good way because CM Punk can't lose cleanly and John Cena's not going to lose cleanly. I don't think CM Punk is going to be the WWE champion because again I reserved that for Cody Rhodes. Speaking of Cody, well, just all of it, the King of the Ring, the Queen of the Ring, or as we said on the video yesterday, I've been laughing about this for 24 hours. Go watch my video yesterday. I'm not sure it got on the algorithm, or maybe you just didn't want to watch it, which is perfectly fine. It didn't do very well, but I called it the Men's Queen of the Ring. It was just a slip of the tongue, but it's just such a terrible thing. It's the worst. Goes back to what we just said. In terms of a PR nightmare, it'd be the worst thing somebody could possibly call it. It made me giggle because it's just such a faux pas and such an error, and I'm an idiot. But man, did they smash it with these tournaments, whatever we're calling it these days. I think that the four-way is a get-out-of-jail-free card. I think it's a little bit of a cop-out, not in a negative way, because, of course, people can lose without losing, and that's why I'm more excited about the next round and hoping that we get winners and losers, because my favourite thing about SmackDown is that we did not do the distraction, the interference, and the confusion, except for Seth Rollins' group. Now, of course, they didn't listen to me. I'm sure they don't even know who I am, but that was my big bugbear, right? Because Seth Rollins' group needs to get over as a bunch of assholes, they should be the guys that do it. Because then you're like, I can't believe you did it again. When everyone does it, it's like, well, you lost your superpower. Like if everyone's flying around in a Marvel film, you're like, all right, well, actually everyone does fly around in a Marvel film. You take my point. But here, Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed screw LA Knight, because LA Knight screwed them on Monday, which is awesome. And all the other matches just had clean finishes. The finish, I get this wrong because there were so many of them, but it was Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, Alba Fire, who was the last person? Candice LeRae. That was so smart. I'm not saying it's the most creative thing ever. They're going to make a Hollywood movie out of it. But just the way they put it together and used the four-way to their advantage was so good. Because Charlotte Flair had Alba Fire, I believe, in the figure four, the figure eight, I should say. So Alexa Bliss was like, all right. And she hit Candice with the Sister Abigail DDT. Charlotte tried to break it up, and we'd had loads of 1-2-oohs before this, which made it even better. But she wasn't able to untie her feet. And therefore, Alexa Bliss gets the win. And Charlotte's face just sold the entire story. She had lost, but it's kind of her fault too. That's what I'm talking about. That is good pro wrestling. You've taken your winner, you've taken your loser, and you've taken the fact you have two other bodies in here, and you've turned into this massive narrative that could carry on for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4. Before this, Charlotte as well, when you're not allowed to be the queen because I'm the queen. It's like, take that up with WWE, Charlotte, thank you very much. They called it Queen of the Ring, but that I thought was good. I even like the sort of somewhat of a trope we did with, I'm going to get get this wrong too. Piper Niven, Jade Cargill, who else was it? It was Nia Jax and Meechin, right? Did I say Meechin twice? I don't know. But Piper Niven hits her finish, Jade Cargill zooms in, Piper was going to win. No, you're not, Jaded, 1, 2, 3. WWE does do that a lot, and they especially like you hit a finish, throw that person out as the heel gets the victory. This was essentially the babyface version of it, but once again, it opens up the doors for loads of stuff that we can do. And it was the same with the Cody Rhodes match. Like Andrade did get Crossroads 79 times, but Shinsuke Nakamura's big plan was, I'm going to sneak up on Cody Rhodes and I'm going to hit him with a Crossroads. When has that ever worked for a bad guy, Shinsuke? Come on now. But he was only there to take the pin, which is perfectly fine. Crossroads 1, 2, 3. So that was a solid finish as well. We need to do more with Damian Priest. I feel like Damian Priest is lost in the shuffle at the moment, and that is nuts because Damian Priest is brilliant. And again, the Randy Orton one, there were so many good spots, especially when he was going to do his double draping DDT. And LA Knight hit a neck breaker instead, and he got killed. You couldn't have protected him more, and this is when we use all the distractions and stuff. And Carmelo Hayes going for nothing but net, but Randy Orton RKOing him into LA Knight just to give LA Knight that extra bit more, excuse me, I got hit with all of the moves. And look at the people going into this now. Randy Orton is in the next round. Cody Rhodes is in the next round. I can't remember the bracket. I don't think they can face each other, or can they? Maybe they can. But it also got announced yesterday that Jey Uso is the mystery guy on the Raw side. This caused a conniption online. Sometimes I get worried, right? Because I saw that, and my reaction, Mr. Positive Pete, was like, well, that's fun, because now the story can be Jey Uso trying to get his championship back. A lot of people did not agree with me, but I like it because I think it means the finals could be a Cody versus a Jey. I think along the way you could also get Jey versus Sammy. I don't think that Jey Uso should be thrown out to pastures new just because he lost his championship. If anything, he should have double beef. Why do I have to go through a tournament? Where's my automatic rematch clause? I am going to start advocating for the Usos to get back together in around about 6 weeks, because I think the Raw tag team division is in so desperate need of someone, and I can't think of a better team than them. But let's let this play it out first. I don't think it has to be a tag team forever again. Let's use this new power, star power that Jey has, and just the love that everyone has for Jimmy Uso, and send them off into the stratosphere. A proper, well-booked, promo-heavy feud with a New Day is going to be awesome, and it keeps them on television, and we're not doing enough with Jimmy Uso anyway. So, really good episode of SmackDown, aside from the stuff that we already talked about, which, yeah, it just makes me scratch my stupid bald head. What was that about as well? LA Knight comes out, oh, John Cena, I'm not going to be in your grand plan, because John Cena acted like a supervillain here, and said that he plotted out every single thing he planned to do. It was very, very good. So Knight was like, oh, you didn't see this coming, you balding bitch. Now, one, John Cena's had work done on his hair, so he's not a balding bitch anymore. Why has this become the promo off of 2025? Everybody, if you're losing your hair, Punk has said it, obviously LA Knight has said it, Ricochet has to deal with it all of the time. I said this everywhere, I'm going to say it here too. This is not a choice anymore for me. One day Mother Nature went, oh, hello, I'm going to steal your hair away, and I was like, oh, I better shave it off. I used to have long, luxurious locks, and when you see that picture, which hopefully I'll be able to find, sometimes I lose it, I looked a little bit like Chad Kroger from Nickelback. That's how long it was. It's hard to say goodbye to that stuff. I don't see why it's an insult, but hey ho, here we go. What are you going to do? But yeah, Cena was the MVP of this. I just really enjoyed everything he was doing. I thought he came across, well, I've always enjoyed all his work. Again, we talked about in the video yesterday, but I thought he came across like a proper heel here. Again, the crazy plan where I'm going to do this to Punk and Seth Rollins won't cash him in on me, and I can manipulate who's the other guy? Randy Orton, is going to be in his hometown. I'm going to do this to Truth, and Cody, he won't see this coming. And Cody coming out going, yeah, you're right, fair enough, but you didn't think I was going to pin you at Money in the Bank. Just planting seeds all over the place. I think Cody Rhodes will win the men's King of the Ring, and Jade Cargill will win the women's Queen of the Ring. I think that's what we should do, because I think Tiffany versus Jade is super interesting, especially with Naomi hanging around. How great is Naomi, man? Like, on social media, she shared her going through the briefcase. It's just full of weapons. She's going to get arrested. And then I think she's the babyface in the feud, I've decided. She was like, do you remember what happened every time I had Nia Jax beat Tiffany Stratton got involved? And then she's the one that had the, what's the word I'm looking for? But she dared to cash in on someone like Nia. So now I'm going to get my revenge on her. And Tiffany even came out and said, why don't you cash it in right now? You took forever to cash in Tiffany Stratton. So I'm on Team Naomi. I wasn't a huge fan of Nia Jax beating Tiffany Stratton up, because I think I've seen it 9 million times. But it was just a way to tease, this is what happens. And what does Tiffany Stratton do? This is the other thing. Again, it ties into the video we did yesterday, which kind of made me open my eyes a bit more. There are so many champions right now that just don't defend their titles and haven't had a feud post-WrestleMania. That's totally bizarre, and she needs one. And if she's not going to be a Night Champion, SummerSlam's still a long way away. So I hope we do something, but not another Nia Jax match. That feels like we're going around the houses. But I think SmackDown overall did a very good job in teasing lots of things that could happen down the line. And if I get my Randy Orton Cody Rhodes feud, the interesting thing is, I don't necessarily think this is a bad thing either. I think Cody will walk into WrestleMania as the champion if they are doing the CM Punk stuff. But I think in a Randy Orton-Cody Rhodes feud, Randy Orton has to beat him at some point. Is that a problem? I don't think it is. We don't need every single title reign to be 365 days. We've had enough of those. And as long as the story dictates it, and you can get away with it, you can justify it, even someone like Cody Rhodes, who is the apple of the eye, the quarterback, the main babyface right now, figure out a way to get that title off him and get it back. So even when he marches in to take on someone like CM Punk, it has the jeopardy. If anything, him losing it more will tell you, well, they may have CM Punk win in my fantasy world of WrestleMania 42, whereas if he just wins, you may go the other way. I always go back to Stone Cold Steve Austin with this. Stone Cold Steve Austin was the proverbial, I'll win it, I'm not going to hold it for a long time, but the fans are so invested in me chasing that championship down, we're always going to get back to it. I don't think his longest reign, I don't think he ever had a year as champion. I don't think he ever went 8 months. I'll be wrong now. But compared to some of the runs we did today, they were so damn short. It's the same with The Rock, and it worked. And I understand they're different times, but you don't just want to do the same thing over and over again. And that's why I think Raw was a success this week, because we took some risks. Now, the irony is you can't take risks every week because they're not risks anymore. The problem with the Attitude Era is that everything is a twist, then all of a sudden nothing is a twist. It's the problem with the distractions, interference, and confusion. If you get it all the time, well, that's just wrestling. And actually what's more surprising is when you get a match winner. But that was my favorite thing about SmackDown. People felt like they won things, apart from LA Knight, who's now allowed to have beef in his bonnet and go and feud with Seth. I imagine it's Seth Rollins versus LA Knight at Night of Champions, and man, we can screw over LA Knight so bad. Distraction, interference, confusion. Get mad at Seth Rollins' group, who are apparently getting new music and a new name. So that will be interesting. So I enjoyed this a lot. I'll be intrigued your thoughts on the whole CM Punk and John Cena stuff, so drop me a line down there. I think it's really important to have, I'm going to sound like an asshole, so you have to forgive me, but this is just what I believe as a human being, to have your ears and your eyes and your education glands open for that kind of stuff. So please come and talk to me. You can be nice about it. Sometimes people just go straight, but I'm always happy to have a conversation. But that's why I'm going to say it for a third time, which I know is super annoying. But my viewpoint on life is that you should be able to live it however you want, as long as you're not harming anybody else. And you deserve respect, love, care, tenderness, or other words are out there, because who the hell am I to judge how you are living? And I would never expect anyone to judge me in the way that I am living either. I think that's probably my biggest moral compass when it comes to the world, because it's horses for courses, or whatever that phrase is. Everyone's going to have a different thought in their mind. Everyone is going to want to feel comfortable in a different way. And there are nuances to this, of course, and sometimes we need to sit down and discuss things. But wouldn't it be way better if we could do it united, as opposed to things that pull us apart? So trying to circumnavigate as best as I can. I don't want to become a preacher, basically, because once again, I don't think anyone tunes into my content to hear me rant about this stuff. I'm happy to do it, but I also see other people doing it on the internet, and I'm like, man, there's a very negative connotation to this. And I like to think you watch my videos to be entertained. Hopefully, maybe it's really boring, but to be entertained and to be distracted from real life. And real life at the moment, as we do the opposite, is really difficult, I think, for most people. So this should be a nice safe space to use all the 2025 words when we can just do the dance of joy and talk about tum-tums and Tootsie Toes and 2 + 2 = potato. I've exaggerated a little bit there, but we'll just draw a line under it. I think that's the best thing to do. Please interact with the video, like the video, share the video, subscribe, drop me a comment below. Did I just say subscribe? Double subscribe. Don't subscribe, then unsubscribe, do it again. YouTube doesn't like that. Click the video on the screen. I really enjoyed making this video, right? It was ranking in a tier list, all the current WWE champions. Nobody watched it, but I enjoyed it. So I'll pimp it out. Otherwise, you can come to my Patreon, like we've already talked about, Simon316, GorillaMind.com/Simon. You just go to Simon, get 10% off. More at the moment if you're a father. Well, not, it's for Father's Day, so everybody can take advantage of it. But these are the supplements I use, and they're great. They are so damn good. Simon316, if you want to come say hello on social media. Simon Miller on that thing called Cameo, if you want a Father's Day message. Personalised videos. I've got like 7 to do today. Very exciting for me. And hopefully I try to keep them cheap as well. Simon J. Miller on TikTok for all manner of things, and Big Cartel and Pro Wrestling Tees. If you do watch Ups and Downs today, you can see me sweat through one of those. There's a heat wave in the UK. And these lights are so damn bright, you have no idea. Or maybe you do, and you understand my pain. Have a terrific day. I apologize for all the ranting and the raving. I'm just trying to approach this in a positive manner. And sometimes I can get that wrong. Of course I can. I am but a human. But have a great weekend. See you soon.